Willow Creek Springs presents Healthy Living with your host, Joe Grumbine.
Well, hello and welcome to the Healthy Living Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Grumbine, and we've got a very special guest today. Her name is Karen, but she goes by Zuzu, Zimmer Arms, and she's a holistic health educator, author, and speaker known for her practical, science-backed approach to helping people restore and sustain vibrant health. Wow, that's a mouthful there. That's quite a thing to live up to. After reversing her own epilepsy, scoliosis, and arthritis through holistic strategies, Zuzu has dedicated decades to empowering others to reclaim their health. She's presented more than 2,500 seminars, authored 4 health books, and guided thousands through transformative action-oriented education. Zuzu, welcome to the show.
Thank
You
you.
have quite a little reputation going on there. I love it.
I don't even write that. One of my ladies does. So I'm like, oh, that sounds so
you got it from somewhere. I love the focus. For me, I'm all about helping people find health as well. And I'd love to hear, kind of your origin story.
Sure. Well, thank you. Number one, thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Love it. I love the diversity of people that we get to meet with all around the world. I just love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm so glad that you're here and I'm able to join you and your amazing listeners or viewers. But I did. I had epilepsy growing up. So it was quite exciting, had a bell and I could ring it before I had a seizure. Always exciting at a sleepover.
Did you always see them come in or?
Yeah. Yep. You could, most epileptics will have an aura. It's like a 30-second warning, which is great because you can get off the road or you can just sit on, something's going to happen. And so I would have those warnings and my mom, brilliant, she'd give me a bell. She's like, hey, if something's happened, ring it at school, ring it at your sleep. And I did. I had to ring it at a sleepover one time. That was exciting. I brought it with me on some of my dates.
Oh, wow. Yeah, just in case, right? Yeah. Wow.
Hey, sweetheart, if I ring the bell, just pull over. I'll be drooling and shaking and don't mind me, so I don't care. It doesn't matter. But I didn't want to be in all that medication, as I started having children. I wanted a big family, definitely got a big family. And so we're older, so I can clearly say that you and I didn't grow up with the World Wide Web. We grew up with
No. We had the encyclopedia, World Book Encyclopedia. That was our big resource.
Yeah, my first computer when I went into college, I did some computer programming on the side. I mean, it was bigger than my whole office, and I was like coding in C or something. So we're ancient, but I went to libraries and read books, but sure. I started increasing my B vitamins and switched my oils and they didn't talk a lot about neurotransmitters back then. But now that I'm doing this for a living, I realized that that's exactly what I did. I changed what was needed for my neurotransmitters to communicate better and my synapses to heal. And so I literally got off of all 3 medications. I titrated off on my own. That was my choice. But I was able to get off of all 3 of them. And I've been seizure free ever since I was 21. So it was really cool. And you mentioned the scoliosis. That was later. That was literally just about 4 years ago.
Oh, really?
I had all these babies and I never took the time or the money to fix me. And so after the kids were all grown, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I was very religious because I wanted a before and after picture. So I took my before x-ray. And then every single week I went to myofascial specialists, and that's different. That's different than massage. So for those of you who don't know the difference, massage, massages your muscles, and that's wonderful. But what you really want and what your body actually needs is myofascial work. And you can do both if you can find somebody who does both or do both separately. But myofascia is that thin little webbing that goes around every cell in the body, every organ, all your glands, your tissues, your muscles. It wraps around everything. You're actually just a big bag of fascia. If you got rid of fascia, you'd collapse into
it's connective tissue, right?
Yeah, it's just amazing. Well, it's more than a connective tissue, but it is And so by getting into a myofascial specialist, that was one of the key points to reversing my scoliosis. I also did acupuncture and chiropractor because you need that. And then when it was gone, I did my thermal imaging, and it was all that, arthritis and inflammation around it. I'm like, okay, I got that. So that took about a year, and then that was gone.
Wow.
So it was great. But that, I think when I reversed the epilepsy is when I got really excited about health, because I'm like, wait a minute, what else aren't they telling you? And then,
Right.
what else? One of my family members got diagnosed with cancer, somewhere, in more in my immediate family. And I was like, okay. So then, of course, go back to the encyclopedias and the libraries and the books, and learn all you can about cancer. And then I started having children and just raised them holistically, did homeopathy for the first 12 years. And then I got totally crazy into herbs and started teaching classes on herbs, and opened up my first, health food store and cafe and wellness center, and then started doing retreats. And we just kept growing and growing and growing. And so, it's been awesome, because I have just watched so many thousands of people reverse disease. Like, you cannot tell me you can't get rid of diabetes. You can't. I don't care if it's even type 1. I've watched it. Most of them are type 2. But even with type 1 diabetes, Joe, people are getting off of half their insulin, even more than half their. I have one friend never, ever even took insulin when they were diagnosed, went right to cleaning the liver and working on the liver. And to this day, he takes a quarter teaspoon of his liver formula every single morning, and no insulin needed. So it's just been really, and cancer, doesn't matter where the cancer is cancer. And so you treat it a little differently if in the spinal cord or the brain, but so many types of cancer also we've just watched, wash away. So it's just been narcolepsy, and it's just been really empowering when people get educated through programs like yours. I'm so glad you're out here doing what you're doing, Joe. And you're so fun, because you've got this cool, like, laid back. I'm a testosterone man, and I'm just laid back, and I love everybody. I just love how you just make everybody feel so welcome. But it's people, but you attract your crowd, and other people attract their crowd. And
Exactly.
no matter where you're at, understanding the human body gives you that, like, the ability to understand you actually can live disease free. You actually could make some changes today to change the outcome of the cell context. And that's really what it all comes down to, is that little cell floating in its environment, does it have what it needs? And if you have a disease, nope, it doesn't. Oh, here's my button. I
love it.
Like, whenever you have a disease of the body, you obviously are missing something.
Yeah, get your keys. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're aware, but I'm just in the final strokes of beating a really aggressive, ugly cancer. And a year ago, I had a giant tumor sticking out of my neck, and here I am, and I've whooped the hell out of this thing, and
Awesome.
I'm on the recovery. I'm probably at about 80% and out working and doing it. So I dedicate my life to helping people now. And I didn't always have this sort of laid back approach to things, but I came, this close to seeing the other side of life. And it taught me a lot, and I went through all these different, zigzagging pathways and plant medicines and healers from around the world, and a little bit of Western medicine, but really mostly diet. I learned so much about my body, and now I listen to my body. It's like it talks to me now. It didn't used to, but it does now. So now we help people to learn how to find those answers, and you have such great points. And the idea of herbs and natural medicine is so infinite that we're never going to learn it all. And in the 80s, I had a chronic lung condition, and I got tired of the shots and the medicine. I hated it. And my dad was a surgeon, so of course I got all the shots and all the stuff. And I got to be about 18, 19, and I was like, man, I don't want this. And I went out to a used bookstore and got this herbal book. And I started reading and reading and reading. And I got another one and another one and another one. Next thing I know, I got a little library, started growing plants. And next thing I know, here we are, and I love it. So you've touched on so many things, healing yourself it opens your eyes. They say you can't unring a bell. So once you
Yeah.
understand what the body's capable of, once you understand what nature's capable of, like you kind of want to get up on the rooftop and just go, "Hey, wait a minute," you know?
Yep.
So I'm interested, where were you, or are you? I don't know if you've moved around, but where are you physically located?
Sure. Well, I had where I started and where I raised my children was in this little city called Neno, Wisconsin. So it's like
Oh, wow. Okay.
population 400, and I'm not kidding you. We had more
Wow.
cows than humans, and we, of course, we were 12 of us, so we were most of the population right there. But it was really neat, and actually opened up a store there in 2008, and then we had the cafe, and then we added the educational center. Then we expanded to a big city with 30,000 people, and we had our business
Wow.
there, and then we opened another one out west, and so we've really grown quite a bit. And in 2022, I actually I found myself as a single woman, all these amazing, with amazing children. But I was like, that's it. I'm going to go open my retreat center. And so I bought a 30-foot RV, wrapped the whole thing in organs and glands, and you can see it on the front page of my Facebook page. But
Nice.
and and I traveled the country like giving presentations.
No way.
It's so awesome. I looked everywhere for where to open up this retreat center.
Do you ever get to Southern California?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. My son lives in San Diego, so I was there like 3 because I would have loved it out there. Hello.
We have a 2.5-acre botanical garden and a nonprofit called Gardens of Hope, and we offer retreats out here. I want you to come and visit.
I would love to come, and I can present, and people can.
Yes, we can set something up for sure, because we're never going to get through all the things I want to talk about.
Oh, that'd be great. And I'm a foodie. I'm a major foodie chef. So like I love it. I will cook for 300 people if they show up, because I love food.
Wow.
I love your guts. I hope you all know. And that
I love that.
Joe.
That's awesome.
I found this beautiful location in Georgia. So here I am. I'm in Hawkinsville, Georgia, which is in the middle of nowhere. But even if you put Lily Fields in your search bar, you're going to find us right away, because it's kind of fun. We've gotten some great attention worldwide now, but
nice.
We have a retreat center right now. We do retreats every month, and they're like clinical retreats. So ultrasounds and all your blood work and your urine analysis and imaging, and we do everything, and all the food. But we'd like to become a center. Well, we're adding an addition right now so that people can just show up and stay for a month.
I love it.
Yeah. So we've got a lot going right now. It's pretty incredible. And we have we're set up to do permaculture and organic gardening and teach everybody. So we're still looking for the right farm manager, but but it's 69 or 67 acres, and it's absolutely
wow. That's beautiful. Oh, I love that.
Count me in on California, because I come here 3 or 4 times a year anyway. So
anytime you're nearby, I'll send an email with my phone number and everything, so you can reach out, because I would love to have you come. We're doing a wellness retreat in the end of May, and that's kind of our first one. I spent the last year and a half kind of doing the cancer thing, but now we're getting back to work, and here we are. I love that, all these things that you're talking about. So tell me a little bit about, your center. You say you've got all of the equipment analysis stuff, and how does it work? Somebody comes and knocks on your door, or sends you an email, or calls you up and says, "Hey, I'm interested in what you got." How does it all happen?
Yeah, and everybody's welcome, and people come all the time. I mean, we're busy all the time. We actually had mostly men today, which was really quite fun. I'm doing moxibustion on these men who are businessmen, and I'm like, I love, because we combine traditional Chinese medicine with everything else. So we're doing dolphins, which is needleless acupuncture, while we're doing moxiburns, and I'm doing applied kinesiology. It was so much fun. But we do everything. Someone recommended us. Someone just last night, we had a big class on gut health last night. And someone was like, you kind of do everything, the old traditional Chinese medicine, and then all the new toys. And I'm like, we love it. But so that we have a center, the biggest thing, and that is a big thing, but we also have an online school of natural medicine. So we actually, we have courses and we have students all over the world. They can graduate in 100 different languages. I've never seen even a naturopathic doctor course that compares to our HHP course. So we love education. Even we have lots of like educational courses for moms and dads too. So love education. So that's a holistic health educators. But so that's our main passion is education, because when a family learns how their bodies work and where their pancreas is and what it does and their whole digestive system, like life changes. I had a lady last night, she broke down after our class because she's like, Karen, I've been seeing people over and over and over from my gut health. And then after the class, I just did testing on people and she had SIBO. She had said SIMO, so small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, the diarrhea, constipation, don't eat probiotics, it makes it worse. Don't take fiber, it makes it worse. You just can't figure out what's going on. But then archaea will eat the little, the gas from the bacteria. And now you have methane overgrowth. So you have small intestinal methanogen overgrowth. And that's a hard one to detect. And I just tested her and it took me 30 seconds and I knew exactly what she needed. And she just cried. But there's so many people that just don't understand those simple things. And goodness gracious, like don't go to Grok and AI. They haven't figured it out yet, guys. Like, no. Like I'm a professional and just for fun, I'll tell me how to do this or this. Like, no. It's like,
yeah, they just had a study that I think it was in the UK that they took a whole bunch of medical people, or I think they're even using it for surgeries and they're botching things. And they said like 50% of the doctors that were using AI were getting things wrong. And it was like, we're not there yet.
We have an internal AI system. And we actually just opened it up over at Holistic Health Educators. It's called Ask Zuzu, but it's not just me. I have like 100 different doctors in my program now, and naturopaths are wonderful. And so we teach so much. And so some of them will do a segment on this or a segment on that. But throughout all of our courses. And so we just uploaded everything that we've taught for the last, 10 years and all my books and everything. And it's really cool. But yeah, be careful out there is all I'm going to tell you.
Exactly.
But anyhow, yeah. So my favorite thing though is educating, Joe. I'm 58 years old. I know how the body works. I've been doing this for decades now, and I just love it. So if you've got followers that are coming out to your wellness retreat, yeah, absolutely. That's my passion, is just helping people get educated on how the body works, because when you understand it, you don't have that fear anymore. And so when people know, like I had a lady come in one time and she was like literally pointing to her ovaries, right? And she said, no, they've been checking the kidney, they've been checking this, they've been checking that. I had another lady come in, she's pointing to her gallbladder. No, they checked this, and they didn't even check her gallbladder. But had she known where her gallbladder was and what it does.
Right.
Oh my gosh. And then people take out gallbladders all the time. You just keep your gallbladder. You can get rid of gallstones in days, you guys. This is not dramatic, but do whatever you want to do. But it was interesting because after they take out your gallbladder, the doctors don't tell you, oh, by the way, that was useful. Like you actually needed it,
these parts. Yeah, you got them for a reason, right?
And that appendix is one of the most important parts of your entire immune system is the appendix. So
I'm glad I still got mine. Yeah.
Yeah, thank God. Well, and people who don't know, for those of you who don't know, the appendix is like a little seed bank. It has all these different probiotics just sitting in, all these little bacteria just sitting in that little appendix. And if you go drink water out of the stream, or you wipe your nose after going down the slide and you get a little bug, your appendix is like, oh, I recognize that. And it'll pop out a little seed. And then you eat fiber. Make sure you're always eating fibers from all your fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, anyhow, and beans. And then all of a sudden that little bacteria or that little antibiotic will literally grow and it'll take care of whatever you just got exposed to, and you'll never even know it. So like the appendix is so important. So if you don't have an appendix, you do need to take different probiotics the rest of your life. And you don't got to take one every day, but you need to take it. And then whatever fibers you eat is what feeds those probiotics, because bacteria break down fibers. Your body can't break down any fibers. But, and the gallbladder, if you have had your gallbladder taken out, get ox bile or a cell salt, and you will need that every day, because your bile is what breaks down your fats into little tiny pieces that can be used to build your skin, and every cell in your body is lipid, water, lipid. And if you don't have a gallbladder, that bile is not getting into digestion. And in the digestive system is where we need the bile, not floating in outer space because they plucked out your gallbladder.
Right.
And so ox bile is the closest to our human bile. So it's not great for vegans. And I'm not vegan. I don't do a lot of animal anything, but I do recognize when we need it. But I will say there are cell salts and there's a couple other herbal formulas for people who don't want to use ox bile. But thought I'd throw that in there since I'm going off on a tangent. So
It's okay. I love tangents. I'm the tangent king.
I'm
Yeah.
the tangent queen.
I love it. I love it. Well, and you're just a youngster. You're younger than I am, so it works out great. But
Yay!
anyways, I am curious about gallstones because I just had a PET CT scan that kind of confirmed my cancer being gone, but it showed that I've got some gallstones. And of course, they're recommending surgery. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, no.
And so I've just begun to do research on it, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, we do gallstone and liver flushes all the time here. For every one of our retreats are doing it. Just get some malic acid, super inexpensive. You can eat apple every day or take apple cider vinegar, but that's too sweet. And I don't like, we want people away from sugar, not eating more sugar. And so I would do a malic acid supplement. You take it a couple times a day, and that's going to start breaking things down. And then you can find the liver and gallbladder flush all over. But we do the one, and we recommend specific books as well. But we do the one where we are doing malic acid every day, and we go more to a soup and smoothies for 5 or 6 days. And then, you do your water fasting, you take your oil and your magnesium, Epsom salts, and your grapefruit, your grapefruit, freshly squeezed grapefruits. And so that's what we do, and we have great results. And most people do not have these dramatic, issues. The biggest thing, though, Joe, for you and for all of your viewers and listeners, is make sure you're having great bowel movements beforehand. People don't realize how important it is. And like every day, if you're eating 2 meals a day, you should be having 2 bowel movements every day of your life. If you're eating 3 meals a day, which is probably a bit too much, but if you are, then you need 3 bowel movements a day. And so just like a baby eats and poops until they eat American food,
Yeah.
and then they have a bowel movement Friday at 4. But like, that's not regular. We actually need to have bowel movements every day, especially during a flush, because we are going to release gallstones. We need to make sure that the bowels are moving. So we do recommend, if you're not having really fluid movements, to make sure you're taking extra magnesium or a lower bowel formula, and then take an enema the morning of and the night. I just take a couple enemas, make sure you're cleaned out. So when things do come out, you're not in pain. That's probably the biggest mistake people make, is they don't make sure that their bowels are open. And then we do, because people are here, we do like abdominal massages. We have phenomenal massage artists from Eastern Europe.
Nice.
So we'll do that like during the fast, but that's not necessary. But
Hi, this is Joe Grumbine, and I wanted to share an update. The platform that hosts this podcast has made some changes to the subscriber settings, and we have a number of subscriber-only episodes that we offer to the supporters, and for a minimum of $3 a month, we can get you signed up. And if you're already signed up and you're having some kind of trouble locating these episodes in the other platforms, I would say maybe the best answer is to unsubscribe and then resubscribe. I'm sorry for the hassle. I don't have any way to make a change, but I'm very grateful for all the support. Thank you. So you've got this gigantic wealth of information that I can see that you're just tapping into this, playing it like a giant organ, and I love that. I always look at health as, sort of your whole body is this beautiful building, and there's foundation and pillars that kind of hold it up, and without it, you kind of fall apart. And, obviously you're a machine as well, and things are moving around and all of that. It's way more complicated than that. But I look at, the fundamental pillars of health as like, sleep and food and water and, lack of stress and, those are kind of the primary ones. What are your thoughts? I know, getting into the gut health, that's in the last 10, 15 years really become quite a topic. And, in the 70s and 80s, before the computers, you get a stomach flu, right? And you have a one day, upset stomach and you're puking and whatnot, and then you're okay the next day. Nobody really thought anything about, gut bacteria and candida and all these other things
Yes.
are really a big deal now, and probiotics and prebiotics and all of that. You seem to be highly focused on that. What are your thoughts as far as the importance of, gut health to the overall health?
Yeah, I think is one of the main things. I actually have, so the pillars, we have a 10-step program, and each of those 10 steps focuses on a pillar. So we have like 10 pillars, but probably my top pillars are going to be obviously thoughts, because where focus goes, energy flows. And if you're waking up every day and it's going to be a miserable day and you still don't feel well, and you're focusing on your dis-ease and you're focusing on blah, 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 negative, Nancy, if you're always looking backward at what happened yesterday and, oh my gosh, it's going to happen tomorrow, and remember Charlie Brown? Most of the world is like right now. And I'm like, okay, you can turn backwards and become a pillar of salt and wash away, like whatever. Or you can keep focused on the positive. Like stress is a part of my life. I'm running a 67-acre, retreat center. We're hiring, we're putting on addition, we're running a school. We even have a spiritual community that meets a couple times a month. Like and it's organized. We have a lot of people helping with everything, but it's a lot. But if I focus on that, then I become even more stressed and I get worse. And so even though I'm aware that that's in my life, just like some of you might be aware you're not sleeping the best, that doesn't identify you. So people they're like, hell, I met someone the other day and they were like, oh yeah, I have MS. I'm like, oh, well, how long you had that? Oh, 20 years. I'm like, oh, so is this your identity then? Like, are you MS? And she was like, looking at me, I'm like, well, do you want to get rid of it? And she couldn't even say yes, because she was so MS that the thought of not having MS, she hadn't even thought about it. I'm like, well, if you want to get rid of it, reach out, because we can help.
I love it.
People get so caught up in focusing on what's wrong that they lose hope, and then they become a victim, and oh my gosh, the victim mentality, it can drive me.
Right.
So I think attitude is pretty much a lot. And then I'm a monster plant-aholic, because plants are where you get all of your amino acids that build a protein. You can go eat a dead animal that ate a plant, or you can eat a dead animal that ate a dead animal that ate a plant, or you can just go out and get some stupid plants, you guys. It's that easy. If you want to feel great, go eat more plants. That's where all your biochemicals are.
Or an elephant, they're pretty amazing creatures, and they just eat plants.
So gorillas and chimpanzees, and they're super strong, but like plants are where you get the amino acids. And so you also get healthy fats from your plants, and you get all that fiber, and fiber is what feeds your probiotics. So the bacteria in our bodies is so different than the bacteria even in Europe, because we are not eating grain like they are in Europe, right? And we are so loaded with side dishes, pesticides, herbicides, insecticides, larvicides. Those are all designed to do one thing: kill living nervous systems. So why the heck, caught myself there. Why the heck are we putting those in our kids? And then we're like, oh yeah, my son has ADD, ADHD. Well, look what you fed them. Look what you've been feeding them his whole life. And maybe today is the day you make a change. Don't hang up on me, people. I love your guts. I just get a little excited. But like, as moms, there's responsibility that comes along with that, because your grandkids are in there. And if we don't take better care of our children's health, we are not. Look what's happening to society. Look at the kids being born with acid reflux in a baby. Oh, good Lord.
I know.
Like, no. What have we done?
When we were kids, nobody had food allergies. I mean, we didn't even know what that was. And now everybody's got a problem with something or everything. It's crazy.
And then they say, oh, I can go eat bread in Europe, but I can't eat it here.
Yeah.
There's a reason. Like, and I mean, I'm a big happy person right now that we're making some changes in our government when it comes to the food aspect of the world, because goodness only knows we have enough lobbyists to buy out anybody and keep you all eating candy and Snicker bars and grain, for Pete's sake, get off the grain. But it is really interesting to see the changes because I think, Joe, I think people are waking up. People walk.
Starting to, yeah.
Like business people and men and women, they walk in all fancy and jewelry and fancy. And they're like, I don't want to have any more medicine. What can you do for me? I'm like, okay, but you can't, you can lead them to the water, but you can't make them drink. And so that's why I love all the variety of podcasts that we're on all over the world, because everyone's different and we're all learning together. And it's been neat. But I did write a book. I just want to put it out there. The fourth.
Yeah. You got 4 or 5 books that you've written. Why don't you tell us a little bit about them?
This is the one that the 4th edition just got done. And so we're sending it to print right now, and it'll be Audible. And my daughter, she's amazing. She's a voice actress anyway. So she's reading it. And you can download it. But this is literally how the body works. Like we talk about cells and all of the different organs of the body and how they work. And it's a fun book. Lots of graphs. I've researched for decades, and it's in here. Then I have charts on neurotransmitters and charts on all of your vitamins and minerals and amino acids. So it's very educational. I'm excited to offer that. So we do have that. I know people always ask. So I thought I'd just get to the punch beforehand.
And as a podcast, this is just an audio file. So you showed it to me. I saw it, but can you share the title?
Yeah. Right now it's still called Live with Energy, Stop Disease Before It Stops You.
Okay.
I am considering changing the title, but you'll find everything at zuzuunleashed.com. So because we do so many things, we just have one main website, and it's zuzuunleashed.com, because I don't use PowerPoints anymore. I don't care. And I keynote a lot. So they'll get me on stage, and if they want a PowerPoint, oh yeah, that's like 1 or 2 slides, because I'm going to go with what I'm feeling, and what, and personally, what God puts on my heart. Like if there's people out there, I'm like, okay, what do you need to hear? Like, what do we want to cover? And if they raise their hand and want to talk about this or that, that's where I find my joy. So we termed it Unleashed, because I'm not bound anymore.
I love it. I love your energy. I love your knowledge and your wisdom. And we're getting to the point where I'd like to see if you're able to wrap all this amazingness into one thought for our listeners to take home with them.
Yeah. One thought would be, you're worth it. A lot of people are giving up, or a lot of people would have been in your predicament when you had that big cancer, and you were like, you could have just been like hook, line, and sinker, going to the medical model and going, okay. I mean, and here's one thought. Here's my what you can think about. If Western medicine was doing an incredible job at helping reverse dis-ease, we would not be building more hospitals. Exactly. We would be taking them down or using them for the homeless or for immigrants or for whoever needs a house. We would have so many rooms available. But because it's not working, we keep seeing more and more clinics and specialty clinics, et cetera. And I think we need to really take a stand back and take the big eye, picture, take the bird's eye and go, hey, what's still working? And I'm here to tell you, Chinese medicine, 5,000 years, I can still bring anybody in to my acupuncturist, and boom, their addiction can be gone in 2 sessions, prolapse bladders, like on and on and on, PTSD, pain, like go to your acupuncturist, get to your chiropractors, go back to herbs. Herbs are amazing. We have an entire apothecary at our store. Like literally get back to the plants and the nutrition that comes out of the earth, because we're standing on an incredible, plane. Our earth is incredibly full of minerals and vitamins and biophotons from the sun. And we're here, and we're designed to live. We are designed to replicate, and we are designed to live, and we're designed for our cells to get everything they need out of that cell context, which you can change today with what you eat, what you drink, and what you put on your skin. So that's how I would love to.
I love it. That's powerful. Well, Zuzu, I would love to have you back to go deep into any number of topics, but I know you got a lot going on, but just, my offer is there and good. And anytime you're near the area, I'd love to show you our little garden and all the things we're doing out here. And
would love it.
I would like to give you an opportunity to share all of your contact stuff again. I know you gave us the website, but people are short-sighted and forget. So let's tell them all again.
Sure. Zuzu Unleashed. And I just started Instagram and Facebook, and God only knows that's not something I do. So be patient with me. But yeah, Zuzu Unleashed is our website. And then you can also find Zuzu Unleashed on Facebook. And I think on Instagram it's Zuzu-Unleashed, but it's there. And then our holistic, you'll get to Lilyfield Center, our retreat center, from that same website. You can get to holistic health educators directly, or from the Zuzu Unleashed website. We have a store, an online store. People are looking. They actually just go to the store and watch the videos, because we have hundreds of videos that are super fun. I don't care if you do anything. Just enjoy watching all the videos. But yeah, we have fun.
Well, I'm going to have to take a look at that myself. I'm looking forward to seeing your book, and looking forward to meeting you in person one day.
Me too, Joe. Like I said, we're there often, so I look forward to it.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. I had no idea what a treat I was going to be in for, and just really thank you for all of this. Well, this has been another episode of the Healthy Living Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Grumbine. I want to thank all of our listeners for making the show possible, and we will see you next time. This has been another episode of the Healthy Living Podcast. We produce this show so that people can share their stories, people that have overcome obstacles, people that are undergoing obstacles. We're building a community of health-minded individuals. If you're interested in supporting the show, please leave a review on the platform you're listening to it on. If you're interested in becoming a guest, please send an email to itsjoegrumbine@gmail.com, or you can send a note into the notes section of the podcast. All right. Well, thank you for supporting this show, and we hope you've enjoyed it.